It's a great privilege to host Mr. Jack Ma during his first trip to the State of Israel. Thank you very much for coming.
Good evening, Mr. Ma. It was a great honor and pleasure for us all to have you here. I'm going to start with the conversation with a few questions. At the midst of the 90s, when you started your first internet ventures, the World Web was still at its inception, in its diapers. With some few tens of thousands of sites, today it has many hundreds of millions of sites. What did you see then that others didn't?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting. It's a good question. Let me answer in this way. I tried 3 years for entering university. And then finally I got into the post university in my city, which today I believe that is the best university in the world. 500 students graduate. Only one of them can be assigned to the university. 499 go to the middle school. So I was the only one chosen to teach in the university. My president, he saw me at the gate and he said, "Jack, I know you will leave, but promise me in 5 years, teach in that university. Don't leave, just stay there." So I said, "Okay, President, I promise." So for 5 years, I've been teaching, I worked hard, and then I was elected by students the best teacher of the university. Yeah, so then I went to the United States. I founded the internet in Seattle, 1994 in December. I searched the word beer. There's no beer information on the internet from China. There's a Japanese beer, German beer, US beer. And then I searched China. Say there's no data about China. So I thought about, if I can put some Chinese information on the web, when people find out, that might be a good opportunity. So I did not know internet would be that big. I just want looking for a job.
Let us take some questions from the students. Let's start with Ms. Fayrouz Rizkallah. She is from Israel, student of Eastern Asian Studies, Faculty of Humanities. Fayrouz, please.
I'm very honored to be here and to be the first person to ask a question. As said, I am a student of East Asia Studies in Chinese and also business management here in Tel Aviv University. So therefore, I decided today to ask my question both in Chinese and in English.
Good.
So it's an opportunity for me to try my Chinese. I'll start with the Chinese version. 你今天能给年轻人最有价值的专业经验是什么? Which is, what is the most valuable professional advice you can give to young people today?
Thank you. A lot of people today have a lot of complaints. Say, I don't have opportunity. I complained a lot when I was young and suddenly realized complaint does not solve any problem. Where the opportunity always in the place where people complain. There are so many opportunities in the world, in this world, because there are so many complaints. If you can solve one of the complaints, that's the opportunity. Don't be scared of failure and don't give up. Your country grew from nothing to today. You have gone through so many tough experiences, and that will make you different. That's what my advice.
Next student is Ms. Chen. She's a student from China, studying here in Tel Aviv University, MA in archaeology.
Good evening, Mr. Man. It's a great honor to have you here. And you know, Taobao means a lot for Chinese overseas students, especially in Israel. My question is, if you could magically meet anyone from the past, who would that be? Thank you.
Well, there are a lot of people I want to meet. In China, if the person I want to meet is Deng Xiaoping, without him, there would be no Alibaba. It's the reform. China was so set back and closed. And Deng Xiaoping said, let's open the door. And I know he loves smoke. When he stopped smoke, he got sick and he passed away. And I want to have a cigarette with him and thank him. And also Albert Einstein, right? And I also love to talk to the famous Jewish, the Karl Marx. You know, he influenced the China and all of that. I want to know more about his real thinking behind it.
Mr. Elliot Ashkenazi from Belgium is a student of, listen to this, International Program for Conflict Resolutions and Mediation Studies.
Shalom, Mr. Ma. So I try, to teach you a second word in Hebrew now. So my question is like this. With all, the due respect I have for you, you have been rejected from Harvard 10 times. And you've proven that you don't necessarily need degrees from this, so-called famous university to succeed in life. So my question is, do you think that the entire educational system should be updated? Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The education system needs to be upgraded. This is something that I worry about, and this is something that I'm going all around the world, telling the government officers that my worry. People worry about high technology, but young people don't worry about it. Next 30 years, the artificial intelligence, the robots, all the high tech will replace a lot of jobs. This is for sure. When human beings invented computers, human beings should know that computer will be much smarter than human beings. They remember, they calculate faster, and they never get upset. They always keep on doing things. But don't worry about it. Machine can never win human beings. Machine can do only things machine can do better. Human beings have hearts. Machine only have chips. So what worry me about is the way all the things we teach our kids today, how to remember more things, calculate faster, all these things, machine will do better. Next 30 years, what are the things we should teach our kids that they will be different, they can do better, they can do the things machine cannot do? This is I discussed with the president, they all agree. I think we should teach our kids how to be more innovative, how to be more creative, and how to be more constructive. I think next century we should focus more on wisdom-based, or the human-based. So this is, I think, next 30 years, please pay special attention to the education system reform that our kids will never get disappointed because of the machine take a lot of jobs. There are a lot of jobs waiting for human beings. And next thing is I want to say is that pay attention to these companies who have less than 30 employees. Please pay special attention to the young people who are below 30 years old, because this is the generation who were born internet. They will change the world. So education is the key.
Before we conclude, a personal question. We know that you sing, we know that you dance, we know that you're an expert and movie star in martial arts. That's all we know. Tell us something that we don't know.
There are 3 Jack Ma's, I think. The first Jack Ma is people's imagination. You think he's great, he's bad. I think Jack Ma is not great, is not bad, he's not smart, he's a normal. The day when I told my 17 founders in my apartment, I say, if Jack Ma and his team can be successful, 70 or 80% of young people in China can be successful. We're not smart, we don't have money. We don't have technology. We don't have anything. The only thing is that we work together for future. So we said, if we succeed, 80% of young people in the world, they can be successful. That was who we are. So people say, Jack, this is that your imagination. That is not me. So when I look at people say, hey, Jack Ma, people criticize him. I'm happy. People criticize. That's not me. People praise him. I say, no, that's not me. I know very well this is not me. The second Jack Ma is the CEO, chairman of Alibaba. That's a tough job because all the easy, good things my team finished. And tough job. The things that came to me, normally not easy. You have to be, you have to be a CEO like. This is not me, it's my job. It's me, it's my personal. I'm a straight boy, like any boys, in a poor family. I came from a very poor family, poor education. I love to make friends. I love to have fun. So I want to be back to myself. This is what I do anything, a lot of things that any boy want to do, I want to do. And I want to enjoy a lot of lives. But this is why I want to retire early. I can go back to myself. Because this is not me. This is my job. And the real Jack is something that I always want to come out. And every year I want to do something new.
Well, I would like to thank Professor Frankel, Professor Klafter, Mr. Ma. It was inspiring and frank, I must tell you. Dear audience, Mr. Ma is shortly be awarded a Tel Aviv University honorary doctorate. So let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very honored. Thank you.